Here's what I see with a lot of us as women, myself included. We are very good at talking about what was done to us, what our parents did or didn't do, what our partners did or didn't do, what our friends did and didn't do, what we feel we deserved but never really received. We are so good at pointing fingers at other people that we forget to check ourselves out. We are so good at calling other people out that we forget ourselves. Hey, friend, welcome to the Rise and Rebuild podcast. This is your space to breathe again, a space for women of color, single women, and single mothers to finally feel seen, deeply supported, and reminded that you don't have to do this journey alone. My name is Lydia, a certified life coach and founder of Break the Cycle Global and a proud cycle breaker. Around here, we don't just talk about life. We get real about it. The messy, the magical, and everything in between. From breaking unhealthy cycles to mastering your mindset, navigating relationships, parenting, career, money, faith, healing, and so much more. This is where we rebuild when life doesn't go as planned. I know what it's like to feel stuck because I've been there. And now, my heart beats for women like you, ready to rise up and embrace love, abundance, and confidence. So whether you're carrying painful wounds, facing another hard season, or simply ready for a fresh start, you are in the right place, my friend. Grab your coffee, warm your tea, and welcome home. Because this is where we break, heal, and rebuild together. Hey, friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Rise and Rebuild podcast. Happy Wednesday, you all, or whatever day it is that you are listening to this episode. This is your girl, Lydia, and I am so glad that you're here today. Well, if you're new here, welcome. This is a space for women like you to rise and rebuild. For women who are tired of repeating the same patterns, tired of just surviving, tired of doing the same thing over and over again and doing all the work and still feeling stuck. This is your space because around here, as you know, we talk honestly about healing, about breaking unhealthy cycles, and my favorite thing of all, rebuilding our lives with God at the center. So before we get into today's episode, I just want to say welcome, and I have a few announcements for you, my friend. Well, first of all, Gal, come closer. Lean in, come here. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to this podcast. We are stepping into a really intentional season, and I don't want you to miss what's coming. Please go subscribe. I'm going to pause. I'm going to wait. I'm waiting for you. Go and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. See you. Go to Spotify. Like it. Leave me a review, a 5-star review. Leave me a comment. Write something. Let me know how you're doing. Are you healing? Are these episodes impacting you? By the way, thank you so much for all the people that are coming to my DMs, that are commenting on my social media posts. I see you. I am so glad that you're resonating and that you're healing. For me, if only one woman can take these lessons and transform their lives, then you know what? I'm home and dry. God knows I have done my bit to draw one more woman closer to God and one more woman to know that they can absolutely come back from nothing, from anything. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Send me emails, send me DMs, send me whatever. Just write it. Feedback. I'm always open to feedback. For those who have, good. I'm so glad you're here and I'm so happy that you join me every Wednesday when a new episode drops. You're always waiting and listening and sending me all that feedback. I appreciate you. We are breaking one cycle at a time. We are healing one wound at a time. All right? That is one. The second announcement I have for you is, for those who've stuck around with me for some time, you already know I coach women, women of color, single mothers, single women, firstborn daughters, lastborn daughter, women of all shapes and form. I coach women to rise and rebuild. I help women like you break unhealthy cycles, heal what still hurts, and rebuild so that you can step into a life God has called you and designed you to be. All right? So between January 5th and 9th, guess what? The Cycle Breaker Reset is back. I do this once every year. And so I curated a beautiful experience for women next year by the grace of God. So between January 5th and 9th, I want you to save your calendars, save some time, take some time off. We are going to have what we call the cycle breaker reset, right? So over the next few episodes, you're going to hear me talk about it because I'm really excited about what this reset is going to be about. This is a 5-day reset I created for the woman who's quietly telling herself something has to change next year. Something has to change. You can't keep doing life the way you've been doing it. So something has to change. So we have the 5-day reset coming up. And I'm not talking about jumping back on the hustle train come January 1st. No, where you're told just work hard, hustle, hustle, hustle. No. Or the new year, new me performance routine you and I get on. No, I am talking about coming back into alignment with yourself and with God. So during the reset, we are going to look at how you think, right? How you show up in relationships, how you have been handling your money, what type of work you do. Is that meaningful work, right? How, you're using your gifts, your calling, how you rest, really your entire life, but in a very honest way. And it's happening again, January 5th to 9th. So save your calendars and I'll share more as we get closer. But if you're already like, hey, that's me, I need a total reset, the link is in the show notes. Go ahead and join the waitlist and just wait for the details. Okay? All right. Those are the 2 announcements I had for you today. So subscribe to this podcast, follow. Hey, one more thing. Invite a woman, invite a friend. Healing is sweet when you're inviting your friends to come along. All right. So invite a sister, send this to a daughter, send this to a mother, send this to a friend. Okay. So subscribe, invite somebody, then join the cycle breaker reset in that order. I'll see you between January 5th and January 9th. 5 days of reset so that we can start our year strong, not just the way you've been starting all other years. This year, next year, by the grace of God, we are going to start in alignment with God in all areas of our lives. Let's now get into today's conversation. Today, my friend, I want to ask you a very confronting question. Mirror, mirror on the wall. What if you're the problem? Come closer. Did you hear that? Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. What if you are the problem? Now listen, before you log out here and leave me here talking to myself, I really don't want you to do that. I want you to breathe. Please breathe in, breathe out. This episode is not about shaming you. Nope, I don't do that. I'm not in the business of shaming. God doesn't use shame as a motivational tool. This is not even about labeling you as toxic. Though some of us may be toxic, I don't know, but I'm not labeling you. I'm not doing that label on you. This episode is about maturity. This is about the version of you who is willing to step forward and say, you know what, Lydia? Let me have a meeting with myself because today I'm about to get honest enough to realize that sometimes I might be contributing to my own misery. You might be contributing to your own misery. It's about breaking cycles from the inside out. Because here's what I see with a lot of us as women, myself included. We are very good at talking about what was done to us, what our parents did or didn't do, what our partners did or didn't do, what our friends did and didn't do, what we feel we deserved but never really received. We are so good at pointing fingers at other people that we forget to check ourselves out. We are so good at calling other people out that we forget ourselves. And hey, listen, all of that is real. All the pain other people caused you is real. I will never minimize that. Your story is real, and I believe you. But we also have to acknowledge that most of us have mastered the outward part of the story, period. We can explain the trauma. We can explain the culture. We can explain the expectations. We can list all the ways people have failed us, abandoned us, misunderstood us, wronged us. But the inward part, that mirror part, that is where it gets real and uncomfortable for you and I. We don't know how to check ourselves out fast. There's a verse in scripture that says, why are you looking at the speck on your neighbor's eyes and not looking at the log in your own eye? And I'm paraphrasing that. In a nutshell, we are so good at looking at something in somebody's eye, but we can't look at something in our own eye. We don't get to check ourselves out first before checking other people out. The reality, my friend, is that when we start healing, we have to understand that healing has two directions, the inward and the outward. We don't get to skip one and still call it healing. No, only when we get honest about what's happening around us and what's happening inside us can we truly start to heal. So as we talk about this today, I want you to gently and honestly look inside and ask yourself, girl, are there places where my unhealed parts might be partnering with the very patterns I'm asking God to help me break? Are there places in my heart that are partnering with the very patterns I am trying to heal from? And if the answer is yes, then you are beginning to see how, in some situations, you might actually be part of the problem, or at least part of the patterns. Because some of the cycles we blame others for, we are also participating in. And not because we're bad people. Listen, no. Not because we are toxic, though we could be, or just mean girls. I mean, there are some people who are mean, yes, but for the most part, that's not the case. It is because we have lived in survival mode for so long that it has become our personality. What do I mean by this? When you grow up as the strong one, the fixer, the responsible, the one who figures it out, you start to believe that's who you are. That forms your identity. You forget that that is not your identity. Rather, that is who you had to be in that season. Because you've been labeled the strong one, the fixer, the one who carries everything and everyone until it's become a part of you that you think that is who you are. Newsflash, that is not who you are. That is the part of you that had to camouflage or part of you that had to adapt to that season. Because you're not the controller, you're not the fixer, you're not the savior. You just adapted because of the circumstances, right? And if no one teaches you and I or teaches you the difference, you carry that survival energy into everything you do. You bring it into your relationships. You bring it into your friendships. You bring it into your parenting, my friend. You even bring it to your work. You've seen some people have very weird attitudes at work, right? You even bring it into how you relate to God because now you're putting up a show, right? And that is because of that survival mode that we think has now become our identity. So let me break down a few places these might be showing up so you can really have that honest meeting with yourself and see if in some of these areas you're actually contributing to your own misery. Because some of us are. And here's the disclaimer. I'm going to sound a bit harsh in some parts, but I need you to listen with an open heart and ear and call yourself out where you need to. I don't want you to go through life only as the victim. Listen, I want you to also ask yourself, where am I contributing to my own misery? Okay? Number one, sometimes you might be the problem in situations because you overfunction. Girl, you are doing too much for everyone else. You're jumping in, you're fixing, you're rescuing, you're carrying people, then you resent them for letting you do it. But come on, did anyone actually ask you to do all of that? For the most part, no. You are always enabling over reliance on you. You go far beyond what you should even be doing in the first place. And then you start complaining about it. And here's the lesson. Most of the time, you have a need to help, to feel needed, to be the one who always comes through, that is always pushing you to do that. And yet, no one really asked you to. That is a sign that you're a problem. Sometimes you might be the problem because you trained people that you don't need help. And for the most part, because I want to extend compassion here, this is very subconscious. Meaning the way you carry yourself, you can actually send some subtle messages that you're actually good all by yourself. You can do all bad by yourself. You show up as the one who always has it all together. You've taught people that you'll always figure it out. You're always the one stretching. You're the one sacrificing. And then you sit there angry that nobody comes through for you. But from their perspective, let us be honest, they actually think you're fine. You look fine. You've always been fine. You always have this attitude, I got it. So they believe what you've shown them, right? People only treat you the way you're carrying yourself. If you carry yourself as, hey, I got it, I don't need you, people will let you be. And then you blame people for not showing up for you. That is a sign that you're a problem. There is a problem there. Sometimes also you might be the problem because you keep choosing people you have to raise. And you and I know I'm not talking about your sons and daughters. I am talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about the men you're choosing. Check yourself out. You call it chemistry. You ignore the good guys because they look boring, or they are not tall, dark, and handsome. You know, the TDH, or they don't even fit the profile you had in your head. So you choose the man you have to mother. You choose the hurting man. You choose the man who just needs support. You choose the man who has potential. And when the relationship fails, you blame the world. All men are trash. All men are dogs. Marriage is a scam. Love doesn't work. You're now tired. You're resentful. You're burnt out. But who chose that man? You. And now why are you putting every man in the same basket? Because, my friend, let me teach you something. Sometimes the healthy man or the healthy person is not the most popular person or the flashiest one or the handsome one or the richest one by your standards. And yes, I'm not minimizing. People can be wrong and harmful, but sis, you are choosing the wrong type of people. You're choosing the wrong type of men. And this also can apply to friendships. You're choosing the wrong type of friends. You're choosing the package without checking the content. You're choosing someone whose inside has not healed. And that doesn't mean you deserve the pain ever. No, 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 no. What it means is we have to own our choices so we can make different ones next time. Okay? Also, sometimes you might be the problem because you don't communicate your needs, but expect people to magically know them. Angel Gabriel match, right? You expect people to know what you need and how you need it. Some of us say, hey, I'm okay, when you're not. I don't need help when you're drowning. You insist, I'm used to doing things alone. No one ever comes through for me. But deep down, you're craving support. And then when people don't show up in the way you never clearly asked for, you get hurt. You withdraw or you cut them off. This culture of cutting people off just because people didn't show up the way you wanted them to and you never told them, sis, people are not angels or the Holy Spirit. They cannot respond to needs you hide or refuse to speak out loud. Okay? Some of us are used to pushing people away, and that's a problem. You say things like, I don't need anyone. I do better alone. I can't trust people. Women are their own worst enemies. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Says who? And yes, some of those beliefs could be true. You could be hurt, right? I don't know your story. But please don't buy the lie that all women are your enemies. Some women are your destiny helpers. Some of us, I am telling you, are literally standing on the shoulders of women who showed up for us, who prayed for us, who opened doors for us. And one of that woman is your mother, is your grandmother, is your sister friend, right? So don't buy that lie. Don't. But when you find yourself always saying, I can't trust women, I can't do this with people, I can't do this with somebody else, I can do all bad by myself, then you're part of the problem. Check inward. Check inward first. Because sometimes wanting to isolate like that is just a defense mechanism so you never have to be vulnerable or never have to risk being hurt, right? And never have to look at how you show up in relationships. Here's another one. Sometimes we sabotage our own peace. And I'll tell you why. Maybe you grew up in chaos. You're used to walking on eggshells, managing people's moods, anticipating explosions, right? When you ask something, people explode. People are just passive aggressive. So now when peace is finally showing up in form of a healthy relationship, a calm season, a good job, a stable job, a consistent man, drama-free friendships, something in you doesn't just trust it. You don't just settle. You either overthink. My overthinkers. I'm actually one of the overthinkers. Overthinkers Association of the World. I'm one of them. You pick fights, right? You start building stories in your mind, like some of us. You assume the worst. You're always on the sidelines waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? You're like, okay, when will they show their true colors? And this is not because you love drama. Nobody loves drama. Well, there's some people who love drama, but most of us don't. This is because dysfunction the one that you are used to, feels more familiar than peace. And so you are always on the go. You are always waiting for the other shoe to drop, as I said, right? And here is something that I struggled with for a long time: apologizing. Some of us can't even bring ourselves to apologize when we mess up. Pride has us on such a high horse. You'd rather mop the whole ocean, the entire Indian Ocean or Pacific Ocean, than say you're sorry. Bringing yourself to saying sorry, it's like Jesus will come back the next minute. If you find yourself in such a situation where it is so hard for you to just own your part and say, I am sorry, you're part of the problem, because what you're doing is you're avoiding that inner work, avoiding to confront yourself and call yourself out of your own BS. And here's another one. I promise you, I'm getting them done. Some of us are avoiding doing the inner work, Year after year, you're setting goals that you never follow through. You watch life pass by from the sidelines and tell yourselves, one day I will go to the gym. One day I will hire a coach. One day I'll go to school. One day I'll do this. Let me tell you, sis, if you are always just sitting by, making excuses of not doing something and avoiding doing the inner deep work, then you're part of the problem and causing your own misery. Because until you say enough, until you stand up and show up for yourself and show up for your life, you will continue to run in cycles. You will go round and round and round until you say, I am done. I am done. And it's not even about resources. It's not about money. It's not about direction. Because once you show up, have you had people say, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up? Once you step up and say, I am ready to start breaking these cycles, the resources, the people that you need to help you will show up. Okay? Some of us are deeply traumatized, and we've normalized survival behavior so much that we don't think we can ever change. That is why this mirror conversation is so important. It is important that we take that mirror and look a little deeper, because sometimes the problem is not all these other people. Sometimes we ourselves are co-creating the very experiences we say we don't want. And I think, if you ask me honestly, as a coach, as a sister friend, it is time for you to rebuild differently. All right? Okay, sis, let me land this plane. I've been cruising. Let me land. We've talked about some hard things today. It is not easy to talk about the mirror and calling yourself out and looking inwards and looking at your survival modes. We've talked about how you and I contribute to our own pain. Now the question is, what do you actually do with this? You know me, I don't just tell you the problem, I help you find solutions, right? I don't want you to just hear this and move on. I want you to actually do something with it this week. So I want to give you a simple, honest checklist. You can walk through, nothing fancy, just real, practical steps for you this week. Because sometimes the cycle doesn't break when everyone else changes. It breaks when you do. You will be waiting for everybody else to change. They may never change. People rarely change. Once they reach a certain level, unless they are intentional about their own healing, you cannot change them. You cannot. So it is you looking inwards and changing yourself. Okay? So I want to give you a checklist of 5 checks, 5, that you can run with this week and start transforming your life. All right? Number 1, numero 1. That is Mexican. My kids are learning Mexican, so I'm trying to learn Mexican too. Mirror check. Be honest with yourself. At some point this week, sister friend, I want you to just sit with yourself. No TV, no scrolling, no noise, no social media. Just you and your thoughts, and maybe your journal. And I want you to ask yourself for real, where am I doing the most? And then getting mad that people let me. Where am I saying I'm okay when I'm absolutely not okay? Where am I choosing people or situations that drain me and then start acting like it just happened to me? Like, oh, I'm surprised this is now happening to me. Where am I pushing people away? But deep down, I know I'm actually craving some connection, some support, some love. Are you pushing that good man away because he's boring? Where am I disturbing my own peace because chaos feels more normal than calm? I want you to ask those questions to yourself. That is the mirror check. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't even need a 10-step plan. On this step, I want you to just name it. Because anything you can name, you can bring it to God. It loses its power once you start naming it. So get honest with yourself. And as you do, you're also getting honest with God. You're getting honest with other people as well. Check number 2, responsibility check on your damn part. I want you to ask yourself, what part of this is mine? Not in a way to blame yourself. I don't want you to think you're the worst person on earth. There are more worse people than you. No. But in a grown up way, in an honest way, in a mature way, ask yourself, why did I choose this man? Why did I choose this girlfriend? Why did I choose this career? Why did I choose this job? Why did I choose this and this? Why did I allow for too long? Why did I not see the red flags? Or why did I see the red flags and still kept going? Where do I actually need to apologize? Who do I owe an apology to? Or at least have some real conversation. Remember, this is not about beating yourself up. No. This is about taking your power back because you're owning your part to it and you're choosing now to see differently and start healing differently. Okay? Responsibility check is the second one. Own your part. Look at the things you've listed and own your part in those things in your story. Don't be a spectator in your life. Own your part. Don't blame or shift fingers to other people before owning your part. Okay? Number 3, boundary check. Ask yourself, where do I need to step back? Ask yourself, where are you playing God in other people's lives? Where are you carrying weight that belongs to a grown adult? Where are you rescuing people instead of respecting yourself, right? I just want you to pick one area of those areas and be honest about it. Is there one person you're going to have to stop over-functioning for? Is there one place you're going to start saying no instead of defaulting to just saying yes? Is there one situation you're going to step back from, not because you're angry, not because you're punishing them, but simply because that is not your assignment anymore? So for the boundary check, ask yourself honestly, where do you need to step back? All right? The fourth check, then we wrap it up with the fifth one, is support check. This is really important because healing happens in community. You can start the mirror work, but then when you have people healing together with you, it accelerates your healing. So ask yourself, who's in my corner? Who is safe enough for me to actually be honest with? Who can I text or send a voicemail or say, hey, I see this pattern in myself and I don't want to do this alone. And they'll be there for you. They will show up for you. Ask yourself, do you need a coach? Do you need Lydia? Do you need a therapist? Do you need a small group? Do you need a community in this season? And some of you, that support is going to look like joining my Cycle Breaker Reset come January, because there you'll be showing up with other women who are doing this work too. You'll hear stories of women who've done the work so that you can be encouraged that it is possible for you to come back from anything. For some of you, it might look like booking a one-on-one call with me, right? Or finally opening up to that friend God has already placed in your life. The point is, I don't want you to stay isolated. As I said, healing starts in the mirror, looking yourself in the mirror, being honest and owning your part, but it continues to grow in community. So the fourth check is support check. And the final check, and the most important of all for me, is prayer check. Bring it back to God. Some of us are living like there's no God. Like there's no God that created you, that knows your life. I want you to actually bring all of this back to God. You don't need fancy words. You don't need a deep, long prayer. You don't even need to know scripture in and out. You can literally say a very short, simple prayer like, Lord, show me where I am still in survival. Show me where I am partnering with patterns you're trying to help me from. Give me the courage to own my part, the grace to change what I can, and the wisdom to set boundaries. Heal me from the inside out. That is a powerful prayer. I want you to bring it back to God. Don't live your life as if there is no God for you. There is a God that cares for you and loves you and wants you to bring it back to Him. You just have to be honest. You don't even have to sound deep, okay? Don't be intimidated by people out here who you probably think know God than you. No, we are all equal before the eyes of God. You just need to be honest, all right? So those are the 5 checks. I'll repeat them. Mirror check, be honest with yourself. Responsibility check, on your part. Boundary check, where do you need to step back? Support check, who is in your corner? And finally, prayer check, bringing it back to the Creator. Okay? Sis, I want to wrap up this episode. But if this episode speaks to you, I think it's time for you to own your part. It is time for you to take responsibility. If you're tired of repeating the same cycles over and over again, and you're ready for a reset, I advise that you start owning your part first. Look in the mirror, see the person looking back at you, and then let's begin the healing journey. And of course, if you want more personal support, the Cycle Breaker Reset is your very first stop for the new year. Then let's heal together. Okay? Feel free as well to reach out to me. DM me, inbox me, book a clarity call, because I will promise you the mirror is not your enemy. The mirror is your starting point. All right? Excellent. That is my heart for you today. I am going to get off this screen, but before I do, I want to remind you something. I love you deeply. Okay? I do, because I believe in you. And here is something that I can stand by and swear by. Your past doesn't define you. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter where you came from. Your pain doesn't disqualify you. It doesn't matter the pain you've had to endure all your life. And your story is still being written. I always say God has the pen in his hands writing your story. So stay grounded, stay faithful, stay grateful. I want us to break, heal, and rebuild together. All right? Until next time, my friend, take care of yourself and please don't be afraid to face that mirror. That is where healing begins. All right? Bye-bye.